Hello, everybody. I am back here on the channel. This says random stream, but this is, we'll just call it part 2 of Lee Talks because I don't know what happened to to the first stream. But oh, there's Proper. Hey, Proper.
Hello.
Hey, I love your hair on your avatar there. It's lovely.
Thanks.
What?
Yeah, I think
you don't take the compliment? Oh, jeez.
No, I said thank you.
No, you said thanks. Like, oh God, not this again.
Oh, you didn't hear me the first time.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
All right.
No, I
You guys
seriously
are gonna
thought I
see me
said that.
flipping
But
back through on my phone here. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It's been screwing with me. But apparently, I think I got to keep my original thing up. So we're just going to run it this way because, I just shoot from the hip here on the channel. So as we were talking about before we were rudely interrupted by YouTube, you were making a good point about Cobra Kai and how they were doing stuff that a movie couldn't do. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're like The Mandalorian and the possibility of an Obi-Wan movie series, something like that. Disney is taking all these little things and they're thinking more. They're shoving it down our throats, and so now they're putting out more more series. So like The Mandalorian, I heard now Obi-Wan might be a series. Well, those again, I think would be better as a movie. But when, like I said, the difference with Cobra Kai is when I actually sat down and watched it, I was like, they took aspects, like you said, that are nostalgic, but it's a whole new storyline. It's like there's a lot of nods to what's already been done in the movies, but it is set up like a series, so it's done right. I mean, the stories are small, they're concise, and there's a main story arc, and that story arc is continued well between each episode. And so whoever came up with this idea, because I think Ralph Macchio has a lot to do with it. I think that when they sat down, they thought, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this with a new vision. But we're gonna let people have what they want to see, which is, the old stuff. But we're gonna bring in new characters, and we're gonna develop new characters into this. And like I said, with Star Wars, those characters are never developed. They're doing much better in Cobra Kai, series or episode to episode, developing characters than Disney did with 2 hours of screen time. So it's one of those things that's really, glaring, the difference between Disney and the people behind Cobra Kai. And really, you're talking about two different things, two different groups doing primarily the same thing. They're bringing back something from the past and putting a new spin on it. One's doing it right, one's doing it wrong. So,
Proper.
And this is coming from somebody who likes The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, no, I tell people all the time, I like the new movies, but they're nowhere. They can't hold a flame. They can't even hold a candle. It's like the sun to us on the earth. That's how far away the candle is. That the new trilogy is compared to
I don't think
the original trilogy.
That at all.
I'm just a fan.
I mean, okay. So now I understand that. I understand your point a lot more because it's very clear that even though you like the new movies, you don't love the new movies like you did the old ones.
No, exactly, and that's the thing. I can't ever say that. So they're not that good compared to what the old ones were. So that's a nice act you got there.
Completely understand.
I was gonna use that. That girl I was telling you guys about, she got it for me, and that's my axe to grind.
That's nice.
Ooh, interesting.
You should have a grinding wheel there.
Ha ha aha aha.
I have props. Oh, hold on. Proper, you'll love this.
Prop?
I know I'm just setting myself up for the insults, but I'm just gonna get them out of the way now. Right here we have.
Ooh.
It's my favorite color.
Oh, all right. You have to present yourself.
So, what'd you say?
Present yourself.
Present myself?
Yeah. The laptop version.
Oh.
You have to do it. Yeah. Present yourself with that toy that you just had.
Okay. This is the
Oh my God.
earth-breaking groundbreaking with them additional money, taking the man, the myth, the legend, and writing the most electrifying pretty pony out there. The man, the legend, and her name is Sassy.
You are batshit insane. I don't know what to say right now. I can't believe you. You absolute lunatic.
No, he's not a lunatic.
Hey,
I don't even know what to say right now.
good. That's what we got on my channel. My channel is it's random. I like to think of myself as.
Hey, Lee, we're having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, I said I like to think of myself as one of the people. Just I like access to my pony.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
And I
Can you take yourself off, by the way?
What's that?
Off of present mode?
Oh,
I don't.
hold on. All right, I think I can hear you better now.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Mhm.
Oh my goodness, I'm still learning the tech.
I still hear. I love your uniform there, Instructor Cole.
Oh yeah, just so you guys can see. So this is the logo of my dojang, and this, when you become an instructor, you get the official instructor patch. And not
Nice.
only
It sounds
that, but
very staticky where you are, Licky.
not only that, but with the instructor patch, it is also on my rear end. It says Instructor Cole.
What?
That sounds so much better.
Oh, you heard that proper.
Yeah, of course.
That's just lovely.
That's good.
What? What'd I do?
No, I'm just saying that is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I have Instructor
was my
Cole on my
background?
back.
Oh, Instructor Cole was lovely. Okay. I thought you
Yeah.
meant like my background noise was really bad.
No.
All right.
You've been outside all day, haven't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I was listening to the Aliens watch party earlier today, and I heard the cars going by then too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, let Rookie know he's.
I'm being a lot more conscious of it now.
Oh, well, it's all right. It doesn't bother me any. So, going back to the Cobra Kai thing, though, I think that the way they've done it, the way they've shaped the series is really nice. There's that constant tension between the two of them. I haven't watched all of season 2 yet. I'm just about ready to start that. And, I've seen the little teasers and stuff for it. So, I know that they're jumping around this fight between Johnny and Daniel. And,
when did you see season 1? May I ask?
I saw season 1. It's been about a few months ago.
Okay.
Oh. But
We'll carry on then.
Well, I'm just saying that I like the way that they do this, the constant back and forth, tiptoeing around things. I like how they're bringing back characters, and I've heard they're planning on bringing back more characters. So I think it's really interesting that you take it. And I always thought that they should have done a movie where Daniel was the teacher. And so doing that in this series, I've been really happy with. Like I said, that it's a twist, and I'm pleasantly surprised that it's worked out the way it has so far.
Right. And I will say that I remember exactly. I remember very vividly the day that Pat Morita died. And I had just started taking karate lessons when I was just a kid. And for some reason, they would only air footage from, when they were talking about like a tribute to Pat Morita. They only showed clips from the next Karate Kid. I was like, what? It just didn't make sense to me in retrospect, but
yeah,
it's part of the lore too. So
yeah, so for lack of a better term, that would be Karate Kid 4, and then I
refuse to say that it's canon, but that's just me.
It's difficult at best to say that. It is definitely a throwaway amongst all of them, even as, in my opinion, as bad as 3 almost was. 3 at least had your main character still in it, and it had a nod back to the first one.
Can I be honest though?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if you compare the Temple of Doom to Raiders as opposed to the Last Crusade to Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Much like Karate Kid Part 2 to 1 versus Part 3 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
2, has the first like 10 minutes or whatever, and then they just all of a sudden go to Japan and everything's different. Like the whole thing takes place in a different continent, whereas Part 3 seems more of a natural continuation with all the characters that you knew, aside from like the first 10 minutes of Part 2.
I would say, if I were to have done it as a producer or somebody in charge of those movies, the 3 of those movies together, I would have done 1, 3, 2, because I think it would have worked better that way. But
you think so? Making the second one 3, kind of be worse, or?
I mean, what most people don't realize about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is it actually is the first movie in all of the series.
It's a prequel. George Lucas was starting early with his.
Well, you could say that.
That's just that was just a jab at how every prequel that George does is bad. Yeah.
I just wanted to say something too, to bring it back around to the conversation and kind of the elephant in the room that I've been sussing through for days. Proper, you weren't here, but you might have seen my stream where I said I actually dropped my rating for Endgame.
You dropped it? Why?
As an MCU fan, and Chris, you'll be able to attest to why I did this. As an MCU fan, I still give it a hard 10. As a critic, I had to drop it to an even 7.
Okay, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
And the reason why I did that was the second time around, and Pop Culture is in the chat, so he'll know because I talked with him about this along with Geek in Disguise and Prime. I said, I was starting to do what the media shills did, man. I was in that nostalgic mode, and I was like, yeah, this is the greatest thing, and people were pointing out flaws. I'm like, no, there's no flaws. Everything is great. This is the best movie ever.
Thor was fine.
Yeah, everything was great. And then I went through the third time, and I went through with a notepad in the theater. I had a notebook, and I started picking it apart, like from a critical perspective, because most people don't know. I went to college. I got a degree in mass media and communications. I took English Lit, and I was published 3 times. And so
when I do things, I know what the arcs are for writing. I did creative writing and all that, and I know what I'm supposed to be looking for. And I'm looking at it and I go, yeah, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This is way out of place. This didn't need to be in here. And I'm like, oh. And you know that feeling you get where you're like, you're starting to hate yourself because you realize exactly what is wrong with something. And it's not a Last Jedi situation. And that's what I wanted to bring this around to you guys, is that I don't think it's fair to compare it to Last Jedi because if you look at the way the two are made, it's two very different things. I mean, sure, some of the problems can be contrasted, but I don't think it dropped the ball as much as The Last Jedi did. What are your guys' feelings on that? We'll start with Chris, the last Jedi man.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I went back and saw it the second time, and I would say mine's probably about an 8.5 now, 8.5. But I'll go back and watch it again. I mean, when I watched it the second time, it was more glaring. The forced parts, the parts where they're trying to force the new MCU on us. And again, I'm still okay with the way that some stuff was done, as far as Tony dying and other things like that. I don't want to go too much into it because I don't know who else.
Oh
Yeah.
no, you guys are good. I'm seeing the chat right here. There's people bringing up about stuff about their scoring as well. And it's very interesting. This is why I've been doing this, because when I'm reading through the chat and stuff, I'm seeing, gentlemen, we've all here scored it about the same. PB's at a 7.5. Stig is at a 7 with me. So, I mean, it was definitely the first time around for us nostalgia, but it was that feeling you walk out of the theater. And I think we talked about this too, Chris, on that live stream with Mary. We were like, it was the feeling you walk out and you don't know what the hell to make of everything because so much came at you at once. So when you sit down a second time and you really digest it, you start to see the things. What about you, Proper? How many times have you seen it?
Once.
And what'd you think of it?
Satisfying for certain characters, not so much for others. Not so much for others because I didn't like what they did with Thor.
No.
I love what they did with Iron Man, especially, and Captain America. I liked what they did with Captain Marvel too, to an extent. Well, I mean, she was there minimally, but like her presence seemed forced and it didn't make sense.
No, okay.
But her appearance was minimal, and it didn't seem like I didn't dislike anything that happened with her character. But in terms of the actual plot, I will say that it was stupid that they're like, we're gonna go and kill Thanos. Oh, the stones were destroyed, decapitated 5 years later. Like, really? That was kind of lame.
I still think go ahead, Lee.
I was gonna say, and Chris, you already heard the story, but I don't know if Proper did. I actually almost got kicked out of my own theater. So I'm at the theater.
Working yet, or
no, I was off the clock. I'm sitting in the crowd, and right when Thanos switches the gauntlet and grabs the stone and punches the crap out of Captain Marvel, I stood up and clapped. and then
they almost removed you for that?
No, then you see a sea of angry glares. And keep in mind, the theater's packed. I could see people looking at me, and someone goes to, sit the F down. And they're like, that is uncalled for. And I go, I work here. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
That was 3 times I
Fired.
almost got kicked out.
I think my biggest problem with this whole movie, and the thing I got into even more the second time around, is, I grew up with, Back to the Future. I grew up with a bunch of different time movies, and they break every law of time travel in this by staying behind, by not doing this, not doing that. Then with the fact that Thanos of the past comes forward and he gets killed here, but it's everything. It's like so convoluted there that there's so much going on, and it gets really confusing as exactly how is this fixing things. And you got to really look at it and think, what are we trying to do with this? And I know I still say that the Russo brothers did the absolute best they could with it, and I think they were handcuffed on a lot of different things. And they know that as far as the people they've worked with all these years in these movies and the other movies that have come during the past 12 years or so, that all these movies, this is it. This is over, and those people are gone. And I think they did a good way of just saying, look, we've got, everybody is either fat and can't do it anymore. They're dead. They're old. I mean, so they've done everything they can to kill off what we would call the MCU. Will I go to the next one? Well, I'll go see Spider-Man for sure. But will I go after that? It will take a lot for me to go, but I will probably. I mean, I'll go see a second Black Panther movie. I'll see
I will not. I didn't even want a first one.
I will only be seeing Spider-Man because Spider-Man. I like Tom Holland, but man, did this movie not only surprise me, but it also kind of, wasn't something I was really like hyped about for 10 years. I don't, superhero movies aren't really my thing, but that being said, I do appreciate the impact that it is had on everybody and the fandom and everything like that, and making so many people happy, and having these characters resonate with people for over a decade is just absolutely incredible. But that being said, I didn't care about it, but in retrospect, I kind of wish I did, I guess, or appreciated it while it was around.
And do those dishes.
He has 6 minutes.
Fine. You need to go upstairs and do the dishes.
Okay.
And as you can see by
What's
that,
to do the ditches? What?
Oh no, sorry. I should have muted myself first. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, Lee.
I was just gonna point out 2 things. 1, make sure you get those dishes done, and 2, I like how when Proper was given his review, there were birds chirping in the background. it gave me hope again, and I was like, yeah, the world's gonna be great.
And then the dishes had to be done.
Dun dun dun. Proper, do you watch Game of Thrones?
I'm not about to talk about that. I actually have to get going in a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not caught up. But at any rate, thank you so much for having me on. Returning the favor, I really do appreciate it. And Cobra Kai never dies.
All right, good. Thank you for coming on. And as quick as he comes into the stream, stealing our hearts, he leaves. So we still got 11 people watching. So Chris, are you down to talk a little bit more?
Just a little bit. I got another stream to jump off to here in just a little bit, but I don't have a link for it yet, so I can still talk.
Awesome.
I can jump from one to the next. I'm good with that.
Okay, cool. So, have you been watching Game of Thrones, or are you a Game of Thrones fan?
Fan, probably, but I haven't watched it. I have reserved the right to wait till the series is over because I was so late into the game on it. So I am waiting till it's all over. That way I can binge watch it just like boom. So that's kind of what I've planned on doing. Kind of like Gotham. I watched Gotham, and I got through the first 2 seasons, fell behind on that, and I was like, okay, I'm waiting until it's over, then I'll just shoot right through it. So
Yeah, and this one is actually just 6 episodes, so you should be able to catch up pretty relatively quick on all of that.
yeah, I like this the idea behind Game of Thrones. It looks good. It's fantasy, medieval, it's all of that stuff going on. So it really appeals to me in a lot of different ways. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm one of those people who have to avoid any Game of Thrones videos like the plague. So when I watch it, I'll be one of those people. I'll watch like 2 or 3 seasons in a day or so, just boom, 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 right down the road. And then I'll probably get on and say something to somebody. Hey man, that was crazy about this. And he says, yeah, you're just now getting around to this, aren't you?
Yeah, let me tell you, there is a lot there to talk about because that's been a roller coaster ride so far. So, but
I heard the people were not happy about the King of the Night.
oh yeah, so yeah, there is a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if you want me to tell you exactly what happens.
You can tell me as much as you can without actually giving it away.
Let's just say, for building him up, the most unlikely of people is going to be the one that gets the win. I don't want to tell you too much, but it's how it was approached is very reminiscent of other things. It's hard to tap dance around it without actively telling you, but let's just say it will surprise you and maybe even make you go like why they made the choice. And the scene that deals with the Nightwalkers and their army, you won't be able to see any of it.
Well, that's what I heard. I heard a lot of people complain about that, but if that's the part of it, if it's King of the Night and Nightwalkers and things like that, well, I can understand why they would do it. I can look at things sometimes and see the purpose that they used a device to move a plot or to almost an artistic value of doing certain things like that. When you're trying to really push a fact like King of the Night or whatever, it's dark. It should be dark. If that's when they're strongest or something like that.
The thing with what they did was it wasn't how they played it up necessarily. It was the manner of which it was shot. So
yeah,
when you see it, you'll get the joke.
I'm sure. Now, I think, and probably nowhere near the same thing. It's like it's a plot device, and it's used for a purpose. Obviously, a director has their ideas, and a producer needs to help make those ideas come about. And it would help if you can, as a producer and a director, it helps if you also think about who's watching it. Is this going to be something they're going to want to watch? And well, obviously it sounds like a lot of people were none the happier that it happened that way. They were really kind of miffed.
Oh yeah. There were a lot of there were a lot of angered people about what had happened. I think it came down to the fact that we had things happen where they had shot things right, and this was a case of it being poorly shot. So,
And, with the track record they have, you hear very little wrong with it. So one wrong thing, and this is now what, the 8th season or 9th?
8th.
8th, yeah. So you think about that, and you think about the size of the production that it is, because it's an HBO thing. So that makes it amazing that they had gotten away with doing all this stuff for so long, and now this is the one thing that people are really, really miffed about.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the thing with it was it's a case of a good idea but poor execution, and this late in the game, you're talking about 3 episodes out of 6 episodes. So I think that's where it comes in. People are starting to get nervous now. Like, is this where they spent all of the budget, or is it going to actually like deliver on a bigger, grander scale of a battle? So I think that's where people are very concerned.
But as well as they've done that series, though, as well as I've heard they've done it, and as well as it's been shot, the acting, the choices that the series has made. And let's see here. When was the last season that was actually based on the books?
I want to say they're just going to the book A Summer's Dawn or something like that. They're just finishing up that book and running out of material now. The ending is going to be their own ending. So
yeah, see, so there's kind of the thing. I mean, they've done all this stuff this well. You would think that they would be able to pull it off. Now, granted, I've never watched Lost, but I know at the end of Lost, a lot of people weren't happy with that. So, sometimes, unfortunately, you can write yourself into a corner. And is it better that they just go ahead and finish it off where the author finished it off, or should they go ahead and try their own thing? And I guess that's going to be what they're going to do. So,
actually, the funny part is that the author hasn't finished the last book.
Oh, let's see. I thought they had, but see, like I say, I avoid everything Game of Thrones like the plague for the sheer fact that I do have an interest in watching it.
Well, we're still debating about how that's going to be. So,
all right. Well, I've got a link to head over to another stream, Lee. I appreciate you having me on here.
Oh, no problem. It's always a pleasure. And this was sort of a disorganized stream. So,
hey, disorganized is fun though. It keeps you on your feet.
I know, and people got to see the My Little Pony.
Yes, and I think you should have that in every intro you do.
I think I'm going to jump on other people's streams.
You know what? I'll probably
and bring the pony with me.
I'll tell you what I'll do. You give me the intro. Just shoot an intro with that, or give me a few videos. I'll go and I'll cut up some videos, and I'm going to make you an intro that you can use.
Oh, all right, cool. I'll definitely do that.
Okay. Well, Lee, I will talk to you later, and have a good night, and goodbye to everybody on the chat.
All right. Good night, Chris. And if everyone doesn't know, go ahead. You could say something in the chat, and everybody go sub to Chris because he is awesome. So anyways, yeah. So this was a random stream that I was doing, and just to get some thoughts out, just to finish the one I started with proper about the differences between legacy characters. So I think that it is important to respect legacy and to definitely, do your best to preserve the legacy of the characters that are established. Hey, Stig, you jumped in. What's up?
Hello there. How are you?
Good, good. So we are switching this over, folks, because I just got Stig on, and Stig has never been on my channel. So Stig, introduce yourself. We're gonna keep this party going.
Thought I'd been here many times.
Oh,
Sorry.
have you?
I
You're like a
don't know.
Jedi.
I don't know. I don't know where I pop up. I'm a Force Ghost.
That explains a lot.
I've seen you before though, many times.
Oh no, I know. We've met on tons of other streams. I've been dying to get you on my channel. I put the link in Corridor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I clicked it.
I know, and you like jumped in. And I was like, cool, because I've been meaning to get you onto here, and and yes, PB is a dream of spring. So yeah, I left a link for people to jump in and out of here because I figured why not? I haven't done a live stream with just random people showing up, so I figured I'd try one and see how it goes. How many people I keep enthused. So so
Yeah, I've watched your channel quite a bit, and it's a good one.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been subscribed for quite a while.
Well, I always say I appreciate the every person who subscribes to me, but I heard today from Geek in Disguise that YouTube is now messing with me. Probably all my Brie Larson rants. They started unsubscribing people. So,
Well, they didn't get me yet. I'm still here. I see.
well, you are a Force Ghost, so it is
Yeah.
definitely difficult to peg you down.
Yeah,
So-
I've become more powerful than YouTube can possibly imagine.
So, Stig, now I've had pop culture on here, and we did a Game of Thrones night. So, Stig, what was your feelings? Because we ranted quite a bit about it, and I'm actually gonna see if I can send the link to PB, and maybe he can join in this little fun fiasco. But in the meantime, what was your thoughts on the epic disappointment?
I've how do I put this? I've grown up with this because it's all based on Norse mythology.
Oh,
So
wow.
Ragnarok.
Yes.
It happens after a period of strife where brothers kill brothers, families make war against each other, and there's war, and then a long winter and a long night happens, and that's Ragnarok, where frost giants and fire giants attack the gods and mankind by crossing the Bifrost Bridge. In Game of Thrones, this is the Wall.
Oh,
The frost giants are the White Walkers. Fire giants are the dragons.
so this is kind of like holding true to the old mythologies that sort of started all of these shows, the northern mythologies.
Yeah, what happens is that Loki, who is the god of fire and trickery, Lord of Light, breaks out of captivity in a cave.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he sends his children, the Fenris wolf, the world serpent, and Hel, to lead his armies, basically. The world serpent is Daenerys, The serpent got thrown into the ocean by Odin when he was a kid, and Odin was also in the mythology called a Mad King. And the Mad King sends Daenerys out to sea when she's a baby.
Oh,
Yeah, and the serpent grows and coils around the earth and bites its tail. Daenerys is always going east to get to the west. See where I'm
wow.
going? Yeah, so she's actually a villain in the story, which is something George Martin does. He switches things around. So the ones you're, rooting for are actually the villains.
That
And
is quite interesting.
yeah, and the Fenris wolf. The Fenris wolf gets chained by its hind legs by Tyr, another god, and Tyr later loses his hand. Now Bran is a wolf because of the Starks, and he gets chained because he's paralyzed, right? By Tyr, who is Jaime, who later loses his hand.
Wow. So there's a lot of actual Norse mythology that's woven into the fabric of the Game of Thrones story. This is a great new take. I never knew.
Yeah, and I got some more for you too. You know Heimdall. You see him in the Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's called the Watcher, and he keeps
Oh,
watch.
Watcher of the Wall.
Yeah, and he hangs out at the Bifrost Bridge. Now, Heimdall is actually the palest of the gods in the mythology, but that also means the more. It's the palest and the wisest. But pale also means cowardly, right?
Yep.
And he's supposed to blow a horn when that Ragnarok happens. Sam Tarley is a watcher. He's very wise, and he has a horn. And he's born at Horn Hill.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
kind of fits very well, doesn't it?
so you think George had crafted his story based on a lot of the Norse mythologies?
Yeah, yeah, it's no doubt about it. There's others too. I mean, Theon. Theon is based on a god named Njord, who is a sea god who was part of a rebellion against the gods before Ragnarok, and it fails, and he gets sent or punished and thrown ashore to live with wolves for 9 years. He's also described as genderless. Now,
Oh.
Theon lives with the Starks for 9 years after the Greyjoys have had a failed rebellion.
See, this is great that I have you on for this because I never knew any of that, and I do I do follow history and things a lot because I like to find out the historical background off of different things, but it's interesting to hear this now because I had never known any of this.
Yeah, also, when Ragnarok happens, Thor and Odin dies before Ragnarok in the mythology. Now, the Mad King dies before Ragnarok. He's Odin, right?
Yeah.
Thor is King Robert. He
Oh,
drinks and parties and uses a warhammer, and is born at Storm's End. So you have Storm tied to him.
wow. That is that is really crazy. So when you watch an episode, you're kind of basing it off of some of the actual Norse mythology that it seems to be taking a lot of its influence from.
Yeah, I saw it fairly early on, and then I started searching online, and I found someone else had noticed it too. I mean, the god of virility in Norse mythology is called Frey. Walder Frey is over 100 years old, and he still has kids.
Yeah, I never
Yeah,
even thought about it. I always was like thinking, whoa, that old man seems to get around quite a bit.
yeah, and uh, Arya I think, is the wolf of hatred. I think she's called Hati, who is supposed to swallow the moon. when she arrives at the Faceless Men, there's a moon symbol above the door.
Oh, wow. See,
Yeah.
now I've got to go back through Game of Thrones and watch for all this stuff because it's quite crazy, like the parallels that are in between these mythologies and things like that that are directly seem to be linked to the show itself.
Yeah, they even hint at it in the show and the books, because the characters always say the gods are cruel, which is spelling it out for you. The people in the books that are based on gods are the ones that do cruelty, like Jamie, Walder Frey.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
those especially.
yeah, King
Well,
Robert wasn't a nice guy.
no, he wasn't. He was quite a jerk.
Yeah, and here's another cool one for you. There's a dwarf called Fafnir. He is the son of the richest man in the world, and he kills his dad, runs off, and becomes a dragon. That's Tyrion.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's probably gonna ride a dragon in the books.
that's interesting. I wonder if from those mythologies we could actually find out what's going to happen. Because from the sounds of it, the show has made quite a few parallels between the myths and the thing. But now here's the problem. They started going off and writing their own thing because they haven't gotten the complete book from George. So, knowing what's happened, what do you think that they're going to do
In the show, it's,
in
it's
the
gonna have
show?
it's gonna have a happy ending. Yeah, because it's even the writer and the show writer said that after season 4, the show is its own thing, which is fair enough.
Now, here comes the big question. Do you think that this happy ending, as we're putting it, the happy ending, do you think that that is going to affect the course of like the 8 years now we've been following it? Because I'm okay with some people getting happy endings, but I hate when they sacrifice storytelling for the sake of, doing something like, oh, I want this character to have a happy ending and stuff like that,
They've already done that. It's already happened.
As far as who?
I think Arya is gonna die in the books.
Oh,
With
really? Yeah. When I was following it, I was just like, I was just like, I'm watching it and I'm like, this feels kind of weird, the direction they're going with Arya, and the way that they set her up earlier was quite different.
Yeah, I'm thinking during Ragnarok in the myth, the Fenris wolf eats Frey. Now, if Bran is Fenris and we have Walder Frey, Bran could warg into a dragon and eat him.
That would be pretty cool. Me
Yeah.
and PB came up with a sort of theory last night where we said, what if the Night King warged into something?
Yeah, I don't think you can do that in the books because he's the White Walkers are a race of their own in the books. George Martin said that they're more like elves.
Yeah, but in the show, remember, he saw Bran looking at him and was able to affect him in his little like hallucination dream state thing. So do you
Yeah.
think that could play a part?
I actually thought that was a bit strange because the White Walkers were trying to get through the wall, right?
Yeah.
And they were pushing the wildlings towards the wall. And And then they seem to be all about Bran. So what was their original plan?
That yeah, see, this is the thing that's been getting me upset about this season. It's like there's only 6 episodes. The first episode was like all exposition. The second episode was boring. The third episode you couldn't really see anything. So I'm wondering where are they going with this? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what's the game plan here? Because it appears that they followed George's book, but his new one isn't out. But they were told about a rough outline of where he was going with it, and then go ahead, guys, and do your own thing. So I'm wondering how this is all going to translate here.
I think they're going to be, almost be killed by Cersei, and then they kill her, and then Jon Snow sits on the throne. Because when Daenerys had, her vision in the House of the Undying, she was looking at the throne, but she never sat down on it, and the throne was covered in snow.
Yeah, we never put that together. Me and PB spent a good 2 hours dissecting the beginnings of the Game of Thrones show, and we were doing callbacks, and we had mentioned that, but I had completely forgotten about that fact. That yeah, there was that vision, and they've been pretty good with going back and connecting things earlier, and especially in this season, I did notice a lot of the stuff that happened that was slower was reconnecting things that had been established in the first seasons or so. I mean, going all the way back to even the first season. And one thing we haven't addressed was that, but you think of Jon Snow's name. His name is Jon Snow. We found out he is a relative to the Targaryens. And so,
Which also made no sense because, earlier when, the Red Viper is pissed off because they had killed his children back in the
yeah,
day, and or rather, they killed his sister's children that she had with Rhaegar. And one of the kids were called Aegon. So what does Rhaegar call all of its kids? Aegon?
uh, oh, I forgot. It's been a while. That's
Yeah,
like
it's,
going
it's kind
back.
of like a bit sloppy. But the vision Danny had after she is in the throne room, right? Right
Yes.
after, she's suddenly on the other side of the wall, and she sees her dead husband and her dead kid.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think she's gonna die. I
And
actually
that
thought it
vision
was,
never got addressed. We assumed it was addressed in that season because she was near death, but it could have been symbolism going forward. And did you see the axe that I had to grind?
yeah, I saw the axe.
So this girl I'm talking to, she went and got me an axe. And hold up, because I did a promo with this, and I want to know what you guys think. Everybody in the chat, let me know. But I'm manly enough to show it. This is gonna be the new face on my channel. It is Sassy Pony. She's part of the My Little Pony grade here, and she's gonna help me critique.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yay or nay?
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. Your name? What do you think, Sassy Pony?
bad pun.
Sassy Pony, an axe, and a cowboy hat. Because that Dave Filoni meme of me is going around now.
Want to know something else that's very Norse?
Sure.
There's this goddess called Idun, who's a young goddess that everyone wants to marry, and she gets kidnapped by an evil giant, and it's taken to an eagle's nest. Sounds like Sansa already, right?
Yeah.
During Ragnarok, she gets freed, and she delivers apples to the gods, to give them nourishment during the fight. Sansa is the name of a type of apple.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, this is great because I've been going over these Game of Thrones, and like now this insight you've been giving me is gonna make me go back through and watch my previous seasons and be like, wow, pick out the different things that I can find within the series. This is very intriguing, the different the different stuff that you're talking about, because now some of the scenes make sense.
Yeah, and
So
I'll give you a couple of other things that I noticed. You
go
know,
ahead.
in one of the first episodes,
Mm-hmm.
Tyrion is on the wall and he's taking a piss, and it says he's pissing off the edge of the world. Oh, no, the end of the world.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, the end of the world. That's where the end of the world happens. Bifrost Bridge. That is literally Ragnarok.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Jon Snow is based on a fire giant called Surt. You actually see him in Thor Ragnarok, the first one Thor fights. He lives near the Bifrost Bridge, and he has a burning sword. And he's also called the Black. Jon Snow take the Black.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and when Jon Snow has sex with uh, what's her name, the Wildling girl.
Oh yeah, the red haired chick that we
Yeah,
were all sad to see go.
she said she'd been kissed by fire after they had sex, and he's based on a fire god. He had just kissed her.
Oh wow. See, these are interesting things that I would have never put together. And I'm actually glad that you're here on the channel to illuminate us, because I've been hitting this thing at all angles, and then now it makes me I'm still agitated with the first 3 episodes, but it makes me now more curious to go back through and see if maybe they are doing something larger than we can see, because looking at the track history, and when I judge something, I always look at what has come before, because everything has a bad episode, right? You have shows where they'll have bad seasons. I mean,
Yeah,
and you'll find maybe 1 or 2 good episodes. So for a show that's been running for 8 years, and in my mind, the first 3 episodes were either or just horrendous. I mean,
yeah.
that's not a bad track record if they pull it together.
After they abandoned the books, season 1 to 4, it was all about anyone can die at a second's notice, right?
Yep.
After that, it's everyone gets saved at the last second.
Yeah, we pointed that out too, like how stuff conveniently happens. So you had this scene with Jon Snow. Now, what's his name? That one dude, Jarrell. I always say his name wrong. Starts with a J. He's like in love with Danny, but
Oh yeah,
got
Jorah.
friends. Yeah, he he gets like just absolutely brutally murdered, right? And then Jon Snow faces off with the dragon, sits there, yells, stands in the middle like, Jesus, take the wheel, and all of a sudden he gets saved. So I see like a lot of convenience that's been happening, you know?
Yeah, it's
And I wanted to address the chat a little bit. No, I have not watched that because I don't know what the W is with the 2 blue lines. I have watched Westworld, and my feelings on Westworld are very mixed. The first season was stunning. The second season dropped the ball in a lot of areas. I believe that is the feminism creeping in on that show.
yeah, could be. Hey, here's another one for you. Remember Hodor?
Mm-hmm.
In the North mythology, there's this fool that's called Hodur with a U, who can only harm people unless he's big and he's really strong, but he can only harm people when tricked. So Hodor, he only harms people when Bran walks into him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, oh yes, I'm okay. Whilst I'm doing this, just got to get my cup of water, get some refreshing nutrients. There we go. Yeah, but this is very interesting because this is a whole new take for me now. Now that I know that the Norse mythology is in play, this changes a lot of a lot of things for me. That thank you, Stig, because me and PB were on here looking for hope, man, looking for the silver lining. I wish like PB's in Thomas's birthday stream right now, but we were
Yeah.
trying to find the connections of
Yeah,
what they're doing.
the first person who mentions or who warns against Ragnarok in the mythology is a minstrel, right?
Okay.
In the books and in the show, it's Mance Raider,
Yep, Mance Raider does that.
and he plays a harp.
Wow. So when you're watching Game of Thrones now, you're actually connecting it to the actual Norse mythology to see exactly where the show is going. So let me ask you, for the final 3 episodes, what is your predictions of where they're going to take it?
Well, I have noticed one thing uh, that I hope the show writers didn't ditch it. But remember Dario?
Yes.
He hasn't been seen in a while, has he?
No, we brought that up we brought that up last night. He just
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeah. Want to know why?
Why?
Because him and Euron is the same person.
Ooh.
Because the figurine on the prow of Euron's ship is shaped the same way as Dario's dagger. And Dario is the leader of the Stormcrow's mercenary band. Euron's nickname is Storm's Eye.
So you think that after he got shot down, he's
There's more to this theory. In one of the earlier seasons, Dario captures 93 ships for Daenerys at Marine, I think,
Mhm.
on his own initiative. Euron mentions that he has 93 extra ships later on.
Oh.
Yeah, and Theon says that Euron's gifts are always poisonous. You shouldn't accept them. In season 3, I think, Dario gives Daenerys a poisonous flower as a gift.
Oh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
there's a whole scene about that. So Euron has faceless man skills. I think he's been all over the world.
Yeah, and he is a really good assassin.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem bothered by Daenerys at all because
No.
he already has an in with her.
Wow. So, man, you're throwing out all these good theories, and I'm hoping that they're actually gonna come true because that would make for an interesting wrinkle. Because me and PB came up with a theory that maybe the White Walker wasn't dead, that he warged into something like the wolf, ghost, and that he was going to try to take over Jon Snow's body and then sit on the throne, and it would be essentially he wins the throne.
I don't know, but I mentioned that Jon Snow is based on Surt, which is the black. In the mythology, he has a burning sword, and he is said to lead the sons of Muspel against the gods. Sons of Muspel, sons of Craster, White Walkers. In the books,
Oh.
yeah, and since the Lord of Light is the main villain, he's the one getting Melisandre to raise Jon, right?
Oh,
And she can make a burning sword.
and oh yeah, she hasn't.
So he might get duped into, or he might get turned into White Walker. I don't know.
Yeah, because remember, he came back from the dead and they never really explained that. And I always thought there was something more to it, but they kind of never went any further.
And they kind of did it weirdly on the show because they've already established that only death may pay for life. Right? And nobody
Yeah.
got sacrificed to raise Jon. But in the books, though, they make a point out of mentioning that Melisandre is way more powerful at the wall. And she can see it, the Lord of Light clearly in the flames when she's there. And she sees the face of the guy in the cave with Bran. So there's no question about that the guy in the cave is the Lord of Light. Because he has a birthmark and she sees it. So it's like described.
Wow.
Yeah. You really should read the books.
Yeah, I've read some of them. I forgot where I was at. I gotta reread them now though with all the stuff that you're telling me because wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there, and what I think happened on the show though is that in the books they have this fake Aegon guy running around,
Mm-hmm.
minor character, and it also looks like Stannis is going to win at Winterfell against the Boltons.
Yep.
So I think they merged Stannis, Jon, and that fake Aegon guy into one character for simplicity, because Stannis' death made no sense.
No, it didn't.
I mean, his army is cold and hungry, so he kills 2,000 horses and they're still hungry. And then he burns his daughter on a huge pile of wood. I mean, remove the daughter and they have a fire to warm themselves at.
Yeah, that's true.
In the books, he left his family at the wall because, it's stupid when you're going to fight someone who skins their enemies. You don't bring your whole family.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
So since she's at the wall, I think his daughter is going to get sacrificed there to raise Jon without his knowing, you know?
So you're thinking that the sacrifice was his daughter?
Yeah, I think she's there to bring Jon back.
Oh, wow.
Because Melisandre is up there too.
See, these are things that I had never really,
Yeah, so Stannis has no chance of sacrificing his daughter because he's all the way down at Winterfell, about to attack, and he has already done what Jon and Sansa did. He has united the North a bit and gotten a huge army.
Yeah, and that was my other thing. I always thought it was kind of weird that he lost, considering all of the people he had gathered.
Yeah, it was just and he sacrifices his daughter and mercenaries who are in the army who has sacked cities, raped people, massacred people. They feel bad about that. They've seen it 100 times. And then when the burning actually works, all the snow melts and all that, they've just witnessed, divine intervention. People don't run away from that. They flock to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it made no sense whatsoever. And then he just commits suicide by, attacking Winterfell with like 50 men.
Yeah, because it's like that scene didn't make sense to me either. Because it's like, dude, why would you attack the North in their own secure base, right? And
Yeah. I mean,
with 50.
a few episodes earlier, he said he was angry because he couldn't attack King's Landing again because he had too few men. And he said, 9 out of 10 times the smallest army loses, so I can't attack. And then he just attacks Winterfell with 60 men, and he didn't even bring a ladder.
I was laughing at that. I was like, dude, this is such an underprepared fight because here you are with half the men that you have, they're demoralized, and and you didn't bring a ladder. How are you going to scale the wall?
Yeah, I mean, Stannis is the most brilliant military mind in the show or in the story. Even Tywin scared shitless of him. I think he even said that out of all the other kings that were in the war, Stannis is more dangerous than the others combined.
And that
And then
guy was ruthless because he killed everyone at a wedding. So
yeah, exactly. And Stannis couldn't be bargained with or threatened or blackmailed. It was all about justice. So he's not a bad evil character. He's actually one of the good guys. But then they do this shit on the show, and I was like, what the hell?
And see, that's the thing that has me nervous about this new season is that a lot of choices made in these first few episodes seem kind of really weird. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's Stannis arrives and saves the Night Watch against the Wild Lanes, right?
Yep.
He actually goes there. He has nothing to gain from it, but he goes there. He's the only one who answers, their letters. So he actually makes a sacrifice there by, going there and making an effort. And
when no one else would.
yeah, and he's popular at the wall because he just saved everyone. Then he leaves, and Brienne comes back a week later and says, "I killed Stannis," and they're all okay with that.
Yeah, that was another inconsistency because it's like, yeah, he just saved our life, but cool, she's awesome.
Yeah, and she's honorable. She killed an unarmed, injured man who was actually her rightful king. So
And she's
not an honorable knight,
No, he's not at all. So
it's the sloppy writing that kind of gets me because it could have been so fantastic, right? If they kept the quality of the first 4 seasons.
and see, this is the problem and why I think it's a good stopping point where they're stopping, but I'm a little leery about how the whole thing is going to end up. There's a lot of big question marks, and it sounds like they were following a plan. And this kind of leads into Star Wars. When you see this kind of writing, how do you feel about them and Ruin Johnson making a Star Wars film together?
The Game of Thrones guys did a superb job when adapting George Martin's books, but after they stopped, they're in Ryan Johnson territory. Well, they kind of are because there's so many contradictions, and it's so rushed, and characters just behaving like they wouldn't. It's it's like their motivations just shift just because the plot needs it.
Yeah, and this is the problem that we face with a lot of great things in entertainment. It's like there is this mindset. There is this thing where they're like, oh, we can't think of nothing, so let's throw in, and I think Geek in Disguise used it, and it was a great term I hadn't heard in a long time, but a MacGuffin, right? You need that thing that's just conveniently there. And they sit there and they throw useless stuff when they already have established material they can clearly use. And it makes you wonder if sometimes these guys are good at adapting things that have already been done, but when it comes to creativity, now they're in the hole. And I really don't want it to be that way because it would suck to have 7 good seasons of show and then have it at like the finish line and because there's no creative minds, it just falls flat. That to me would be the biggest travesty, because then I would just be like, Game of Thrones has 7 seasons and
Same,
nothing
same as
else.
with Lost and J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, that was. I never got into that. I've tried multiple times, but I watched the ending because it was so controversial, and I said to myself, so the whole premise of your show is like this maybe mythological kind of thing, a dreamy world kind of thing, trying to solve this mystery, and then the mystery is everyone's dead.
Yeah, I don't know. But I have a good example for you in Game of Thrones.
Oh, go ahead.
For 4 or 5 seasons, we're told that if you want to sit on the throne, you need royal blood, right?
Yep.
Uh, and the 7 kingdoms are one kingdom. They have the same the same laws. They may have the different cultures in between themselves, but they have the same laws. And in Dorne, everything in Dorne was their writing, and Daenerys is special because she's a woman that has a claim to the throne, right? She has royal blood, she has everything, but she's a woman. And then the Dorne storyline happens, where a prostitute kills the Prince of Dorne and sits down and rules. You've just undermined everything that's special about Daenerys. If the Red Viper's prostitute can just do that, and everyone in Dorne who's related to the prince and has a claim to the throne down there is fine with it.
Yeah, see, that's the things that don't make sense. And I wanted to address the chat just for a second because Pertmine brought up a great point. I personally have never gone through the whole show, but I did watch the first season of the Leftovers, and I heard great things. I've been meaning to go through and watch the rest, man. And just to let you know, I will probably watch it and do a review on it because it was on my docket of things to review. So. I've been hearing that the writing was a lot more stellar, and it was just one of those shows that got canceled. And here's the thing with that: Game of Thrones is a big juggernaut. It's relatable. Everybody seems to know about it. Everyone loves it. I think what was the viewership it had like for the season 7 premiere was a crazy astronomical views for television.
Yeah. Even though I think the writing quality has dropped, it's still better than most stuff on TV. I'm not hating on the show. I'm just pointing out where they obviously took shortcuts, right?
Exactly, and it's the same thing with me. Like I was on with Black Angus and stuff like that, and like he like really endorses the show, and it's that mindset that I've been telling people about. And this for everyone in the chat, I respect everyone's opinions and their voices and stuff. When you come on my channel, you are free to put down what you want to or how you feel about something. And I'm not going to pick at you because that's not what this community is about. But we also need to call things out when we see them, because these writers think that they can give us lazy excuses, and that because they've established something, that it's okay to pass by these things we've been talking about, right? It's okay to ignore stuff that you have set up previously, you've established, and then going against your own rules. It was like an Endgame with the whole time travel thing. It's like if you make a set of new rules and you say, okay, this is the world we inhabit, these are the set of the rules, and you take 7 years building it, or you take 21 films building it, then you can't go in the other hand and go, oh, no. But what you didn't know was this, and this, and then, cling on to source material. And the problem with Game of Thrones is there's no source material for them to cling on to. I mean, George hasn't written the newest book.
Yeah, I mean, they spent 4 episodes covering the whole of book 4, which is just as big as book 1 that got a whole season. And then they
Yeah,
whine about running out of source material. I mean, don't rush it. You know?
yeah, and Perp Mayan did make a good point. There are a lot of better shows about Game of Thrones, but here's the sad thing that happens: a show comes out, it stays faithful to the material, it sucks us in. It might even stay close and true through its second, third. What we said about fourth season was pretty stellar, right? And then you
Yeah.
watch this thing happen where they start straying because they've already got the viewership. They already know that people are going to tune in every week to watch it. And now, especially with smart writers, because let's be real, the people who make Game of Thrones, they are smart. Yeah, it's kind of like a Kevin Feige thing. Then you slowly introduce things that don't make sense. You slowly start to degrade the quality, and we're not noticing it until it's too late. Now we're 7 seasons invested, and you're like, well, crap, I got to complete what I started, or at least for me,
Yeah.
yeah. I got to complete it.
You know, it's kind of weird because I see people. Sorry, need a drink.
And while you're getting a drink, to address the chat, I think Game of Thrones is good. The point of our discussion tonight and why I have Stig on is because I've been getting perspectives about this season. That's not necessarily saying the show as a whole is bad. I mean, right up to season 7, you're going to have a great time with the show. It's a great watch. It's brutal. It's fascinating. There's a lot of political intrigue and things like that. But we're calling out the things we see that aren't making sense with the time that we have invested. Remember, 7 seasons, that's 7 years. That's how many ever hours of your life. The first season, I believe, was what, 10 episodes, 13 episodes?
Yeah, I think all of them were 10. You know, I have a perfect example of a huge plot hole in Game of Thrones.
Go ahead.
Remember in season 1, a dead ranger who got killed along with Benjen attacks the knight commander at Castle Black.
Yep.
And Jon Snow saves him, and he gets the Valyrian steel sword as a thank you. That's a plot point. You know, he gets the sword.
Yep.
Later on, Bran encounters Benjen, and Benjen is like undead.
Yep.
Yeah, him and his rangers had been turned, and the children of the forest had stopped the process a bit. And he says he can't go through the wall because the magic in the wall wards off the undead. Well, it didn't
Okay.
ward off. It didn't ward off the other ranger that was killed alongside with him that got through and attacked the Lord Commander.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now, you could argue that the other ranger got dragged through, because they found him dead or something. But he still crossed the wall, so that the magic should have been canceled out.
Or, I
Otherwise,
mean, you could say he was dead and then didn't reanimate until he got through, which is why they
Yeah.
started saying burn the bodies.
yeah, which would mean that they burned the bodies on the other side of the wall, and they went north to do that.
Okay.
But then the White Walkers should be able to reanimate dead from the other side of the wall.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and if it's possible to just drag an undead through, they could have just dragged Benjen through.
Yeah, see, these are the things, and you don't notice them until you start highlighting really big issues. And when I had originally posted the other stream when I had Proper and Chris in here, we were talking about this. Like, this is the problem that legacies and these big shows run into after a time, and especially with television shows. I believe the longer a show goes on, the more it's going to mess up its own mythos because you get so deep into episodes. That's why people are starting to shy away from TV. You get so into like 9, 10, 11 seasons, and it's like you got to remember every thread and plot point and thing that you started in the beginning. And, you change writers and things like that. And it becomes harder and harder to keep everything together that you've established. Yes, Perp Mind, just like Supernatural. That's a great example.
And, remember when Bran found the cave?
Yeah.
What happened when he found the cave?
Oh, man. I'm recalling, like...
Yeah, well, the undead came out of the ice under him and started attacking everyone.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Yeah,
well,
and then we get established that the White Walkers don't know where the cave is. They've just been there and laid a trap.
And everyone, in case you don't know, we have Geek in Disguise here. 19K Fox, thank you for joining. If you're not subbed to me or any of these great people that you saw, please hit their icons and sub to them. Everyone on my channel is great, and thank you for coming aboard. So Geek, we were talking about Game of Thrones, and Stig, you said you've had it playing in the background. Stig has brought up some very interesting points in correlation to the North mythology and how the show has gone. What do you think, hearing some of what he said?
Dude, I gotta say, Stig's got some fantastic theories and points with this show, man. Like, you are the encyclopedia of Game of Thrones for me right now, because I'll be honest, I've never read the books. I never got into those stories. I just was brought into the show. But, man, he makes a lot make sense. Like,
yeah, I have a lot more in my head than just puns.
that's a good thing.
And if people disagree with me, that's okay too. It's perfectly okay to say I'm full of shit. So it's a thing I've been reading into a bit during the last few years, but I certainly noticed all the Norse stuff early on. I was like, I've had this at school, I was like, this looks familiar. So it's there's a lot more. There's the thing about the Norns as well, which is like the 3 women that spins, people's fate. Every thread is a person's fate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Varys. It's like a web of threads, and he's called a spider, and he has no dick.
The spider. Wow. See, Geek, my mind have been getting blown all night because I've read some of the books. I've been watching Game of Thrones for a while, but the Norse mythology I've touched on, but like Stig knows this stuff, and he's bringing up these points. I'm like, wow, Geek, hearing all of this. How are you feeling now? Are you feeling like a little bit hopeful, seeing how the show has been super secretly integrating all of this stuff into their storytelling?
Yeah, but I mean, it's over. Like, that's the thing, man. Like, if they were planning on going another 4 seasons or something, like, I could really jump on board. But I mean, we got 5 episodes left before it's done. But I mean, I got to ask, because I haven't been following completely. Is it true that there's a prequel series in the works?
Yeah, but it's going to take place thousands of years before.
So this is like Elder Scrolls Online of the Skyrim type business. Oh, please, no, never mind. Not interested in that. Like,
it's going to be
Geek,
about.
you just jumped in here. Did you see my new aesthetics for my channel?
As in regarding what?
Hold on. I'm gonna hold it up for the camera. This is my axe to grind with Brie Larson and all the people in that.
Did you sign a petition, man?
And the new Sassy Pony. This is the new critical reviewer who will be helping me out here on the channel. She is called the Pony of Sass.
Bro, you need to have like a flaming demon horse or something like from Darksiders or something.
Can I say something about that?
That's
Sure.
America's sass,
It's
man.
it would kind of be disturbing to run into a guy who's holding an axe in one hand and a My Little Pony in the other one.
I would actually be pretty scared.
That would scare the shit out of me.
honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a Dave Filoni cowboy hat. I'm gonna have my axe and My Little Pony. No one will know what to think of the channel. It'll be great. People will just be like, "What the hell is going on with this guy?" Proper was like, he looked and he goes, "No, oh my god, no!" Like,
Yeah. Well, want to here's another cool thing from Norse
Sure.
mythology. They have a huge dog called Garmir, who's basically a guard dog. He guards the gate to hell.
yeah,
Who acts like a guard dog in Game of Thrones?
the mountain was the most.
No, the Hound. He always protects Sansa and Arya constantly. He's been doing that since the first episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and he kind of slips his bonds before Ragnarok, which is what he does. He escapes King's Landing and goes rogue, right? But he always protects Sansa and Arya.
Yeah, and he always winds up back with them, which is kind of weird as well.
Yeah, he even protected Arya in the last episode. As soon as she was in trouble, he rushed to save her.
Yeah.
See, man, this stuff has been blowing my mind because now hearing this maybe gives me hope for the latter episodes. Like, there is a plan.
The books have a plan. I don't know about the show.
He did bring up an interesting point, Geek, and tell me what you think. Remember the dream sequence with Daenerys and there is snow on the throne? You were saying that was a reference to what? Jon Snow, right?
I think it is because Daenerys never sat down on the throne in her vision. She stood next to it and looked at it, and it was covered in snow.
So, Geek, what do you think about that? Oh, he was so baffled, he had to leave for a second.
Yeah, you scared him off with the pony.
I scared him off with the pony. Luckily,
Yeah.
no one else on the channel. Oh, there we go. He's back.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Apparently, like on my other stream, you were saying they couldn't really hear me, so I'm trying to make sure my mic settings are right. And apparently, I disabled it somehow. But
So, what do you think of the theory that Daenerys, in her dream, when she was like damn near dying, she saw the throne, right? It was covered in snow, and she looked at it, but she never sat on it.
it's because I don't know, man. That's the hardest thing here. Is Jon Snow's a big fan favorite. Daenerys is a big fan favorite, and I really think to satisfy both worlds, they should both reign king and queen. But I think at the end, dude, it's going to be Jon Snow sitting on that throne.
I also heard a good theory here from Perpmine. He says the Hound and Arya will fight the Mountain. That'd be cool.
What if Bran wargs into the mountain and kills Cersei?
Oh, wow.
Wait, what?
You know, Bran could warg into Hodor. Why can't he do the same with the mountain?
That is an interesting theory. An interesting
And
point.
it's actually a thing in the books that Daenerys is going to get choked to death by a second sibling, a younger sibling.
So there's another Targaryen out there?
No, it doesn't have to be her sibling, but Bran is the second oldest son in the Stark family. You have Robb Stark, and then you have Bran. So he could like warg into the mountain and choke her to death.
There's so many possibilities, man. And it's hilarious because my mom's a huge Game of Thrones fan, and I actually got to catch up with her tonight on it. And man, you think we rant? Oh my gosh. My mom's on her 62-year-old pedestal just going ham on this show. It's like, damn, Mom, slow your roll. But yeah, I mean, it's just, God, there's like infinite possibilities what they could do because, I mean, it just seems like some stuff that they set up, they've paid honor to, like the whole thing with the cat's paw dagger. Other stuff they've just kind of let fall to the wayside. They've made changes. It's, oh man. And to think 5 episodes left to wrap all this up.
3.
5. It's an 8-episode season.
I thought it was 6.
I thought it was 6.
Let me double check.
It's going to be rushed anyway.
But that's what happened with the Battle of Winterfell.
I mean, where was the threat level? I mean, the White Walkers get through and they lose the first battle, and they're dead. It would have been better if they actually took Winterfell and pushed on further south, and then they killed stopped it later. You need loss.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be like stakes.
There's
That's
nothing
why
official. Like, everybody's being very secretive about exactly how many episodes there are.
It should say so on IMDb.
Like, I'm looking here, like, they've released runtimes, but only up for the first 4 episodes. Man, this is interesting. Because I was always told it was a half season running at 8 episodes. But I don't know. Let me check IMDb. Because
I think I saw.
I mean, if
6.
there is 6, then I mean, dude, 3 episodes. Yeah, that's going to be super rushed.
It's like Game of Rush.
Yeah, to be honest, they've rushed it big time for the last.
Okay, I mean, so IMDb does have it, but
yeah, it's 6.
so you're going to tell me that they're going to roll straight out of the Battle of Winterfell over to the Battle of the Battle for the Iron Throne?
Yeah,
And then that's it in like 3 like really?
Yeah, I was trying to tell you, man. That's why me and PB were raging last night. We were like, okay, so how we figured it was the format for most battles go like this. It's like they do a battle, right? And it's normally towards the end of one episode, and then they'll go dedicate another episode to it. And then the last episode will wrap everything up. So it's like about 2 episodes roughly, maybe 1.5. And that happened for the Battle of Blackwater and all of the other major battles that have happened in the show. Now, when you think about, in contrast to this season, they had 2 episodes of absolutely nothing happening and dialogue. And then they had 1 episode solely dedicated to the White Walker arc.
It's a condensed
that we couldn't
version.
see.
It's a condensed version of Walking Dead, basically.
Only at least with Walking Dead, I could see the shit that was happening.
Yeah, very true. Very,
What's
very
up,
weird.
geekers?
What's
Prime?
up?
hi.
The
Hey, what's up,
band's
Stig?
back together on my channel. This is like my random stream, guys. Thank you for joining.
All the best people are here today.
I know.
Dude, I'm just stream whoring tonight. I went from Rookie's stream to this stream, and apparently I'm going to Thomas's stream at some point. I guess it's a
Yeah,
good thing I got a
Thomas
good
didn't
night's
send
sleep
me.
last night.
Thomas didn't send me a link for his 100 sub thing.
He's doing it in waves, I think. He's going to have like the first panel on, and then he's going to do a secondary panel. And because he told me in the KOTOR chat, he's like, I got on, and I think Black Angus just jumped in, but he told me in a little while I'll be getting a link. So
Yeah, ask Thomas if he wanted me to come on too, because I'd be more than glad to jump on with him for a little bit, or I'll have my axe to grind.
Yeah, don't
throw a
grind the
pony
phone.
at him.
and Sassy Pony will not be happy.
Sassy Pony, dude. I don't know. You might have to change that, man. Like
Someone
the
put his
steed, like here you go. The steed of sass. There you go.
Ooh, I like that. The
There you
steed
go.
of sass.
I need to get
Prime,
into. I should
what
get
are
into
you
marketing.
thinking? He just went silent after he saw that.
Wait, sorry. I was just telling Bonnie that I just woke up. She's wanting me to join her stream, and oh man, I'm like a celebrity now. Everybody wants me.
I know, right? They want a piece of that prime cut geek.
I'm scared of going over there. Last time I was there, they were talking about some fellow who dropped his pants and
And no offense to Bonnie, I like Bonnie. I like her streams sometimes because it's just it depends on my mood that night. But sometimes, man, it's kind of like this again. Like the most entertaining thing about her stream last night was Steve. Him and that dude, man, bouncing back and forth, doing that weird shit with the cameras. It was ridiculously funny. But it's just it's in low doses for me because I feel awkward. Because
it's on a different level now.
Yeah, like I say, it all depends on my mindset that night. Some nights I can get into it, some nights I can't.
Yeah, if I'm overtired, I can get into anything.
If you're overtired, the only thing you should be getting into is bed.
Yeah, I'm dumb and I drink coffee.
I do that too.
So, what you boys talking about? Because, dude, I just woke up because I had a late night last night. So
I
We
was
were,
schooling Lee on Norse mythology.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dude,
and connecting it to Game
Shazam.
of Thrones.
What
Just hanging
happened
out.
to Shazam, man? You work at the theater, man. What happened, Lee?
I try. I will tell you, okay, with Shazam, I genuinely loved it. I thought everyone should see it. I was like, it's got to be Captain Marvel. And I was like, why? What world am I living in where this movie is Brie Larson is like her hyperdrive butthole is just ruining my life.
Go sign the petition, Lee. There's a petition going around to get her removed from the MCU.
What? Really?
Yeah, the SJWs kickstarted a new petition. They want her removed and replaced with a lesbian black woman.
Hang on. Time out here. What does she do to piss off the SJWs?
I don't know. But they do. They want to replace with a lesbian black woman.
All right.
Because
I'm down.
And the way the gist of the petition goes, if you want to preach diversity, then how about we get rid of you and actually get some diversity in your role? Like, damn.
So they finally watched Geek in Disguise's video about how there needs to be Monica Rambeau and not Brie Larson's
Probably
Carol
so.
Danvers.
But yeah, everybody's been latching onto that today. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, dude, Shazam just got stuck, man. It's like it's only at 346 million. It ain't moving. Like, let's see. It only brought in 500,000 yesterday. Dude, it's just sad because it's a more deserving movie of the attention, if you ask me. That's my opinion. I mean, it's not the most stellarest movie in the world, but it's definitely more deserving of the attention as far as watchability and stuff.
So Lee, I gotta ask you something. Are you taking a play out of my book and using the computer to patch you through the stream?
Yeah.
I was wondering because I saw last time you had two icons up.
Yeah. I've been using that route. The funny thing is though, if I hang up the chat with the camera, then it cuts the whole stream off. I did that earlier.
Yep.
So who's Kristen Gallagher, man? He just said some savage stuff.
I know, bro. He's like, you look like a douchebag. Does anybody even use douchebags anymore? Like, is that now like coming back? Is it coming full circle for the douchebag insult? I thought twat waffle was the new in thing.
Waffle.
Well, just to address the chat, because I am a servant of the people, of the fans, I will say, Christian, guess what? I am proudly a douchebag, and I accept the role. Everyone needs a bad guy. Call me the bad guy.
I'm trying to think of the Revenge of the Nerds line where Booger said something about being a douchebag to that jock dude at the fence line.
Oh yeah. You know, Perp Mine, I love you. He says I look like a 90s supervillain. Yep.
No. People in the chat.
creature.
People in the chat. This is what I want you to do. Look up Dave Filoni and do a side-by-side comparison to Lee. He is the skinny version of Lee without the cowboy hat.
I actually scouted out a cowboy hat after that picture.
Oh, dude! Don't tell me you're going to change the channel name to Dave Filoni. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my God, 1,000 hits right there. When you guys see me all of a sudden get monetized, you're gonna be like, "That son of a bitch."
Yeah, and you know what's funny? You even got the same voice as him too, almost.
Yeah, no. I was like, when you told me that made like my year. I was like,
Prime, you know what I need you to do for me, man?
Oh no.
Give me a second here. Let me look up his name first, and I'll get back to you.
All right.
Hey guys, I'm gonna pop off and make breakfast.
All right, man.
They actually made a movie about him.
When I'm done, I'm gonna
Stig,
pop
before you go,
Yeah.
say something in the chat and plug your channel because you know.
Oh, don't tell him to plug his channel. He hates
don't
when
have
people tell
one.
him.
Go.
I've been telling people not to sub, and I'm almost at 70. I don't have anything. You know, if people
Lee,
wanna
he's
get
just a
in touch
persona,
with
man.
me, yeah,
He's just a persona.
if you want to talk to me, open the window and yell. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna pop over to Thomas and for a little while afterwards.
What was the name of that?
If I ever get invited, I will too.
There was that infamous voiceover actor that used to do like trailers and stuff, and like
In a world.
yes, that guy. Dude, you need to like brush up and do a straight impersonation of him on your videos one day. Just
In a world with Brie Larson, one man will step up to bitch slap her down.
and
Dave
one man,
Filoni.
one man has an axe to grind, and he's coming full force with his steed of sass.
Lee, you've got to do it. You've got to do an impersonation of Dave Filoni and say, "I hate Kathleen Kennedy."
Dude, no, put the hat on, and then like make a dummy Twitter account and just go trolling around as Dave Filoni.
Feel like I just want to say I don't like Kathleen Kennedy. I think what she's done with Star Wars is ridiculous. And watch Clone Wars season 7.
Speaking of Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilms and Ron Howard and what the hell's the writer dude from freaking Solo? Can't remember his name now. But apparently talks are heating up over at Lucasfilm for a Willow sequel series on Disney Plus, and the names Kathleen Kennedy, Ron Howard, and the writer from Solo are being attached.
That's John Kasten's son.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Why
who is the most shittiest writer ever? Who is also supposed to be the one who writes the Indy 5 movie. So he's got that too.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty ridiculous.
Willow was a pivotal movie in my life. I love that movie.
And they're talking about bringing back.
No, wait, they're talking about bringing back what?
They're talking about bringing back Val Kilmer. And I'm like, nobody wants Endgame Thor as freaking Madmartigan in Willow series sequel.
Wait, what? Val Kilmer is almost half dead, and you want to bring that man in on his deathbed?
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude's all overweight and just greasy. Like,
I actually know he's skinny as fuck now. He's almost geriatric, dude.
let me see this here, because the last time I saw him for an image for the Top Gun, he was still looking pretty hefty.
Nah, man. If you go to,
wow, I see it.
Yeah, he did it. He did a recent con where he did a impersonation of his Doc Holliday wearing the cowboy hat and everything. He's he looks just like Patrick Swayze in his end days now.
No, dude, he don't even look like Patrick
Oh.
Swayze. There's another old. Oh, what was his name? God, dude, like Jimmy
Here,
Carson. I
let me
think,
pose a
or-
question to everyone who's here.
He's like a skinny Wilford Bromley.
Here's an
That'd be
interesting
just-
question. Why is it that all of the good actors are dying and we are stuck with Brie Larson? Can anyone answer that for
You
me?
know why? Because Hollywood's slowly poisoning him.
No, man, I got a better one. I got a better one for you. They're in a devil worshipping cult, and the ones that do get paid and devil worship look like they about to live forever. Tom Cruise.
No, you think about it, man. It's all that Scientology shit. Anybody that didn't join up is getting poisoned.
What the hell you think a devil worshipping cult is? Scientology
know.
just means that they don't
Dude,
believe
I
in
like-
nothing.
Look, I'm telling y'all, guess what? Tom Cruise is on his way out. Brie Larson's going to take over the Scientology department for their marketing.
And she's
Speaking,
gonna be dressed as Captain Marvel.
speaking of which, did anybody check out that that video of if the Avengers was made in the 90s?
Yeah.
That shit is fucking. I don't know, man. I kind of like the idea.
I could have
Jeff,
done a lot better on that casting, though.
well, yeah, but I kind of like the idea of Jeff Goldblum as fucking Bruce Banner. I mean, that kind of fits in perfectly.
How about Diane Lane as Black Widow and Sandra Bullock as Maria Hill? Like I could go
I buy that.
I could go so much better with that casting for the women than they chose. I was kind of mad. I'm like,
I
really?
didn't like John Claude Van Damme as Captain America. I was like, no, he's fucking
He's not
French.
even American.
I was like, you know, if you want to go fucking American, go Sylvester Stallone because he's already done the Rambo role. He already knows how to be that fucking like
Nah,
all
dude.
American.
I know what. This is America's ass.
Oh, Lou in the chat brought up a good point. Keanu Reeves as Doctor Strange. I buy that.
They said that. They said that they got Tom Cruise as fucking Iron Man because that was the original thought when they were doing Iron Man a long time ago. They had Brad Pitt as Thor, and
Oh.
I think they had.
How about Kurt Russell as Captain America?
Okay, now I could buy that. I could buy
I
that.
can buy that.
Like in his Cyborg movie state. Remember that? Dude, he was looking mint in that movie.
Yeah, even in the '94 Stargate, he was very fucking like hard up fucking American soldier. So
Oh yeah, yeah, I can buy that.
I could do this all day.
they had Gary Oldman as Loki for some fucking reason.
So, did you guys check out the stream for the Alien Watch Party? That is not a direct copy of the Alien Watch Party.
No, dude. Like I said, I just woke up like 25 minutes ago.
Why are they trying to cast Tom Cruise as freaking Iron Man, dude? Like, it could still so be Robert Downey Jr. in the 90s.
He's locked up.
He wasn't locked up till the late 90s.
Yeah.
He was coked out. He was drugged out, man.
And
Well,
honestly, I would have rather seen the dude that plays Meteor Man play freaking Falcon than Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah, that's a horrible casting idea. Eddie Murphy as Falcon.
Someone said
I don't buy that.
someone said Tupac is Black Panther.
Yes. Purple-eyed, awesome.
I'd rather see
To my dad, nigga.
That soundtrack would have been off the hook. I would have brought every copy of that.
Like, yeah, and then they could bring in James Earl Jones as his father.
Yeah, but then
That would
that
work.
scene in Black Panther would have been a direct ripoff
Lion King.
of the Lion King right down to the T. Because before it was kind of a ripoff. You put James Earl Jones in there, I'd be like, "Yep, Lion King. This isn't Black Panther. This is the Lion King." That's what I said. I was going, watching that movie, and then all of a sudden, dream sequence, and I'm like, okay. And then I see like
the savannah or whatever the hell that's supposed to be. And I was like, oh my God. And I was literally waiting for his head to pop out and go, "You are the rightful king, Chinchilla. Go take out Killmonger."
I have the perfect cast for Ioki. I can't remember her name though, but
Okoye?
Okoye, whatever. I want to say it was Conan. I think she was in that tall butch black chick with the flat top.
Oh,
yeah.
Remember her from the 90s?
Yes, I do.
Like, I think she'd have been a good Oyeke or whatever the hell her name is. I'm fucked up, dude. I got a pain pill in me right now.
Bill Cosby's.
How about Kate Beckinsale as the Wasp?
Yes.
I'm gonna make love to my mic just thinking about that.
Oh my goodness. This is getting out of control, folks. I apologize for these uncivilized comments because my channel is so civilized. I don't do anything crazy on here.
Like, what was the? I was just thinking in my mind, Naomi Watts, who she could play because she was pretty fire back in the 90s too.
Hey, Michael Douglas could still play his character still.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of them that could still just, pass off as back then. Vivica A. Fox, I mean.
Anthony Hopkins could still play himself as Odin.
Fox, the chick that plays T'Challa's mom, she could still do it. And that, what the hell's her name? Starts with an A. Angelica Bennett or whatever. Or
oh shit! Don't forget. Who the fuck played Hera in Ragnarok?
Oh, you talking about Hela?
Yeah. There we go.
Dude, I can't remember her name.
I do remember thinking that.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
All right.
Was it Gwyneth Paltrow who played her?
No, it was I know these chicks. It's
I'm looking it up.
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, 90s Kate Blanchett. 90s.
Oh yeah.
Kate Blanchett.
There you go, folks. So, I was looking at Marvel's new roster.
I can see it now. Freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger is Thanos.
Oh fuck!
It's not a snap.
We've got to get the stones.
I'm sorry, little one. I'm sorry.
I am inevitable.
And then he throws in, "I'll be back."
Yeah. And then when he gets to that planet at the end of Infinity War, he just puffs a cigar. He's like, "I'll be back."
Someone put Whoopi Goldberg as Cherie.
No.
Oh hell no!
The chick from Friday starts with a T.
Oh, that chick. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
I gotta look her name up now. Let me see. Friday.
Yeah, this is definitely a now off the
Nia
rails
Long.
stream.
Nia Long is what it was. Yeah.
Oh man! And you know what the great thing about this is that you could have included Wesley Snipes' Blade in the movie.
Yeah, because the continuity would have been in there.
Damn.
Dude, how about this? How about Bernie Mac as Falcon? He was looking mitten in the early 90s, man.
Yeah, I buy that. You'd be like, "Let's go. Let's go and get this. Let's go get this
Oh
guy."
hell, that's funny.
Man, I don't know. There's just so many fun possibilities you could have went with in the 90s because that was like the peak prime of Hollywood and talent pool, man. Like, I'm sure we could have had Richard Gere up in there somewhere.
Hey, don't forget the Star Wars actors now. We could also have Mark Hamill in there too. Mark Hamill was still in his prime in the 90s.
Harrison Ford. I'm telling you, man, they would have been.
Oh, Harrison Ford should have just been the president.
Oh, I would have brought that. He already played the president.
Yep.
Get off my plane.
I mean, it wasn't a stretch. People would have brought it, but like, yeah. Correct. I agree. Mario Van Peebles. Yes. So underrated. My God, he's been so good and stuff, but I heard he was hard to work with. Y'all ever see the Highlander Endgame?
How about this, dude? Michael Clark Duncan in the 90s as freaking Luke Cage.
Yes.
I got it. Hang on. Michael J. Fox is Spider-Man.
Yep.
Win. We have just won, folks.
Because Michael J. Fox always came off as nerdy to me in Back to the Future, and I don't think Parkinson's
Yeah.
really hit him in the 90s.
Let me see something here. 90s nerdy actors. Let's see.
Oh, someone said Michael Clark Duncan as Juggernaut. I like that. I like that idea.
Dude, no. Sylvester Stallone is Juggernaut. That would have worked.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
yes.
put him in that.
Because you know he wouldn't have had to talk.
Said one line. The Juggernaut, bitch.
Oh my God! See, look at that. We could have casted an amazing Avenger
But you know, if
movie
this was
back in
the
the day.
90s, you know, Will Smith would have been somebody.
You know what? People would have probably went with Will Smith as Falcon instead of Bernie Mac.
Like,
Just
could we have gotten David Duchovny to play the Grandmaster?
Oh yeah.
Well, we definitely could have got Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart to reprise their roles in an earlier setting.
Oh yeah, because Hugh Jackman was in the prime of the X-Men stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all know an interesting fact about Hugh Jackman? You know how he got his start?
Broadway.
Yeah. No, playing Gaston in the first Broadway play of the Beauty and the Beast.
Hugh
Damn.
Jackman.
You know what?
Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Hugh Jackman is the man. I love his work, and I've pretty much watched almost anything he was in.
All right, I'm gonna totally pitch this one because it could have worked too. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
I also heard Elijah Wood, but I can't stand
I don't
Elijah.
like Elijah Wood.
I can't either.
But he's pretty good in some stuff.
I'm thinking like 97, 98 Joseph Gordon-Levitt, right after the Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, because then he started getting really big. Dude, this has been great. Like the chance with like I gotta
Like,
say,
hang on a second. I'm gonna do a screen share real quick because I'm gonna show y'all this. This is a mint freaking.
I know who could play Bucky.
who?
The dude who plays Joey from Friends.
Oh yeah, Joey. I'd buy that.
All right, here we go. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, that could have worked.
Oh yeah.
Hell, that could have worked with the first Spider-Man film.
Yeah, dude, it could have. Hell, I mean, that's the one thing that killed me the most about that freaking series right there was y'all are trying to pass off adults as freaking teenagers. It ain't working.
Well, it kind of worked with what's her name? Shit, I can't remember her fucking name to save my life because it's been so long. She's been in a fucking role. Jumanji girl.
We could have still had Anthony Hopkins as a young Odin that's just kicking ass.
I said that earlier.
And I
Yeah.
know. I'm just like thinking on it now. I'm like resonating in my mind. Oh my goodness, this is. Ooh, I keep going back to freaking.
Hey, you know what the sad part about this is?
Sale, man.
The sad part about this is that Hollywood in the 90s would have had a more consistent and continuity.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh. I don't even. Oh.
Ben Affleck would have been up in there somehow.
If they were going to go Ben Affleck,
Then Matt Damon would have been tagging along because you know they always hung out and
Dude,
they
I
each other's
guarantee you,
movies.
it would have been Ben Affleck and Matt Damon as Bucky and Cap.
maybe,
Yeah.
but Ben Affleck already did Daredevil in 03, so maybe they put him in that fucking role.
Oh, Netflix redeemed.
That's the thing about the 80s and 90s. Like I said, dude, that was like prime time peak talent pool, man. The talent pool in Hollywood is so damn shallow nowadays.
They're
It's
like
just-
pitching people I've never heard of. Like
It's not even that.
first.
It's the same shit over and over. I am tired of seeing these people in all the same movies. I'm tired of hearing Ryan Reynolds and TJ Miller every time there's like some cartoon or voice actor needed. It's like, dude, just
Hey, all I got to say is Hollywood. If you keep having abortions, you're not going to have any new actors.
Oh my
Bro,
god! Guys,
you know
now I
what?
gotta age restrict this stream. Thank you, Prime, for going where
You know
no.
what? That is our
Geek has
new-
gone
That's a
before.
statement, not age restriction.
That is our new pitch for the fandom, bro. I'm gonna get T-shirts that say that.
Oh my god!
Oh man.
Oh, Kermit the Log just to put the guy on the screen to the right looks like Casey Jones.
He does. I said that the other day. I said that.
But yeah, you know, I'm gonna start wrapping things up because I've been doing this for like 2 hours, and I eventually do want to eat something.
Order you a pizza, man. But don't do Domino's. They beat you up.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe I read that shit earlier. I was like, "Are you crazy? Like, are y'all serious right now?"
This is the second beat up too. Because earlier,
Did someone not tip the man?
No, his coworker spoiled Endgame and he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I was hearing about that. I laughed so hard. I'm like, imagine you're at work. Oh my god. Oh, pull it together. Imagine you're at work and you're super excited and you want to talk about so many things. And then, you know, you just let something loose by accident and all of a sudden you see angry red hats swarm you.
okay, Lee. Jesus. Geek, what were you gonna say?
I'm still thinking about Domino's beatdown. Oh, I got to do a video on that.
Did you find something, Geek?
Oh my god, that is the funniest thing I think I heard tonight.
I think he found something. He got quiet. When he goes quiet, he found something.
Hopefully it was more on this Domino's situation.
Yeah, Pizza Hut did it twice.
All right, I cleared my history and it logged me out. Anyways, you said I was saying something and I was like, I don't remember. I went sideways and got lost like Captain America.
Oh,
Branching reality, who ends up back on the linear timeline, but can't explain why.
I'm done. I'm done explaining this shit. I'm tired of having arguments with people. It's a linear timeline. It's an alternate timeline. I'm just gonna say this: someone shoved all the Infinity Stone up Brie Larson's ass and blew it out, and it's multi timelines now. Okay.
No, what it is it's so bad the freaking directors can't even explain what's happening. I'm serious. Russo came out and was like, "We don't even know how this happened." But we'll maybe make a movie about it to explain it later. I'm like,
oh yeah, that's exactly what they said. He read it to me today, and I was like, "Wait, you had to make another fucking film to explain this? Why didn't you just make fucking Infinity War a 3-part series?"
Yeah. Dude, the more they talk after post-release and they start revealing details and stuff, it's like, you guys are retarded. Dude, what were y'all thinking?
You know, I don't know. I still don't want this to take away because I'm going to the first ever 4D theater. I've never been to one, so
I went to one for Avatar way back in the day.
yeah, I'm going to one for Endgame, and I don't want to be thinking about this.
Oh,
okay.
bro, you're going to 4D. You can get a good whiff of that freaking keto crotch Captain Marvel's packing.
Oh God.
Her ass is gonna be in
Captain
your
Marvel to
face.
come down with her little Vanilla Ice haircut.
Oh
Keto crotch.
God. I still say Justin Bieber. She looks like that one album cover he had with that hair.
Ice Breely. I had to throw it in.
I'm the flat ass. I can't rap.
Dude, I sat there and I told my wife because I started resonating on that shit. Fucking was it Ant-Man that told him that was America's ass?
Oh yeah, I love that.
Oh my god, dude. I'm like, really? Why did we get where did that come from? Like, why did we have to emphasize on Captain America's ass all of a sudden after 10 years?
Because
then
of
Cap
Brie
looks at
Larson.
And then Cap starts looking at his own ass and is like, "Yup, that's America's ass." Like, bro, where you been at? You ain't seen a mirror in like 10 years? Oh my god, man.
Oh, jeez.
Hulk angry. Hulk hates stairs. 10 minutes of fucking Hulk complaining about stairs. Just jump off the fucking building. Sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta stop talking
go
about
back to his
Endgame.
dark place.
I gotta stop talking about Endgame, y'all. I get mad.
Just talk about Swamp Thing. That's the next thing to talk
Dude,
about.
yeah, and I'm mad about that too, because apparently we got this badass teaser and it looks fantastic, but guess what? They halted production halfway through this freaking season.
Yeah, and they've already I think the budget's already passed 100 million already.
But dude, it looked worth it. Did you see the actual full trailer?
Yeah, and I saw what they were doing with the costume and shit too, so I have to give them props.
Full physical.
Dude, you know, they should give
practical
DC a chance with this streaming service because Titans was the template, and I thought that was pretty decent. And then Doom Patrol came along, and that was much better. And now Swamp Thing looks like it just broke the mold on how cool the shows look. And I'm like, dude, don't halt production. You know, trust in your product. Put it out there. And if it's good, people will like it. They'll watch
All
it.
we are saying is give DC a chance.
Dude, how about Doom Patrol's first episode?
Dude, fire. Just like what Perp Mind said.
This is kind of crazy. Then it's like, oh, here's some nudity. Here's some screwing. Here's some drugs. Like, God, dude, they just blew it out
They
the
just
water.
threw it all at once. And I was like, yeah.
Do you know what
buy
made
it.
me mad about it? I was upset that Doom Patrol had the tone Titans should have had.
I gotta admit, though, the final episodes of Titan were pretty awesome.
Don't go into spoilers. I haven't finished it yet.
Just get to the final episodes are awesome. And everyone made like a big deal, but I love when Robin made that comment where he was like, F Batman.
Oh,
I was like, it's about time someone said it. Because I thought Nightwing was better, and it's clear that that's where they're going to take his character, or they should.
Well, Cyborg's done on Doom Patrol. He's moving over to Titans next season, I think.
Well, where it makes sense
After
because
all
all
that
the
screwing.
fans said the Titans have freaking Cyborg.
Yeah,
He's a Titan.
Yeah,
I gotta ask.
Start on Doom Patrol is all.
I gotta ask, is his dick like Darth Vader's? It's a USB.
Oh my goodness. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to start to make my descent to madness back to my house. You guys, this has been the wildest, most random stream. We gotta keep on doing these because I've had 5 people watching us interacting, and my God, I love all of you guys to sit here and listen to the madness that we say, but we're all fun dudes here. We'll talk to you, and we love to talk about this stuff that makes us sometimes happy, sometimes mad. So let me have the man who jumped in like a superhero, the Geek in Disguise. Tell him about the channel.
Geek here with the Geek in Disguise, small time amateur YouTube content. Small time
Yeah, that's the
content. Pretty sure I have enough content that might be something there for everybody. Go check it out if you haven't. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button because I'm coming with content on a regular basis.
Yeah, 8 videos a day. No one can figure out that mystery.
I can't believe I pulled that one off myself today. I sat there and I was like, damn, what the hell was I doing today?
I know, man. You got more videos today than fucking excuse me, the quartering.
And I'm not done yet. I still got 2 trailer reactions to do at some point.
So the man is a beast, and he's been a person that I've been working with for a while now, and we've been really coming up together with this content. He's a little bit above me, but I'm looking to change that. But Yeah, a little friendly competition never hurt. But no, Geek is awesome, and definitely check out his channel. And we have the man with the shortest plug ever, and you guys all need to go to this website and get this man some love. So Brian, tell him about your site and plug it down below because I'm gonna give you a wrench.
All right, hang on. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to PrimeGeekCollectors.com, the pride example of the geek community. You can find us at Prime Geeks on Twitter, Prime Geek Collectors on Facebook, and Prime Geek Collectors here on YouTube. We are the best source of information to come to most YouTubers to just, talk about things that we usually don't talk about, so make sure to check us out.
Unless, of course, you're on my channel. And it is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying YouTuber in YouTube entertainment today, Lee Cole the Fourth. And here on my channel, I just got done with having proper on the channel. There was a proper Jenny here on the channel. So make sure that you guys check that out. That was the botched video from the first time. And then we got things rolling again. So that was good. I will be having an alien watch party, not to be mistaken, because I started the watch party as a 40-year anniversary thing. And apparently now I'm famous for it. So I will be doing Alien 3 watch party. I'll have Chris Knight and a couple of other guests. I'm trying to still wrangle Mary into that and a few other people. And of course, Prime, who's on the panel now, will be joining me because you've already started. So you're contractually obligated.
It's time to see what Sigourney Weaver does next.
Oh yeah. We're going to be bringing our wacky annex to that stream. Also, for all you anime fans, because I know there were a few of you, I am going to be bringing more anime content. I'm going to do a review on Attack of Titans because Perp inspired me to do that. I'm going to do my first review on Baki. I'm finishing up currently part 2 of the 3rd season. So as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to shoot out a video about my thoughts and my reactions about that. I've got tons of stuff on Brie Larson, probably not done there. And some think pieces. Also, I added a new late night show, which will be called Game of Thorns with PB, where we will talk about the thorn in the side of the writing of the new season. So all of that fun and exciting stuff will be happening here on my channel. If you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And
that's what we're going to call it. Hit the little button.
The button. Hit the button, people. Hit the button. And, get the subs up there. Also, if you know people who would like my wacky antics, send them over here to the channel. If you like what we talked about, smash that melee button. Let them know we're doing good content. And because the only one on the panel who figured out the algorithm is Geek. So the rest of us are still trying.
Tap that market, baby.
I've been promoting Cobra Kai. I'm shilling for you, YouTube. Give me some love here, all right? I'm shilling hard, okay?
This is what you feel.
So in close, all of you people, have a good night. And as me and Pretty Pony always say, we will see you at the movies. Good night, y'all.
Inagi mas.